Texas's top executive on elections is stepping down. Last week, Secretary of State Jane Nelson announced she will resign on July 17th after 3.5 years in the office. Reporter Natalia Contreras with Vote Beat is joining us to talk more about Secretary Nelson's departure and what this could mean for November. Natalia, thank you for your time today.
Thanks for having me.
You know, I think the thing that stood out to a lot of people and, of course, got the rumor mill churning was Secretary Nelson didn't really give us a cause. She didn't give a reason for her departure.
You know, reporting on this agency for a few years, I have heard that rumor that she would, step down or retire for some time now. And so when I heard about this, I didn't initially think it was true, especially because of the timing of this, just months ahead of the November election. And so I started asking questions, and people were just very surprised at the timing of this too, when it turned out that it was true that she was stepping down.
And right, because we're talking about her last day being 4 months before the big midterm election, which gives the governor a chance to appoint whomever he would like to this position.
That's right. And right now, I think that is what's keeping election officials just a little bit anxious, is just the unknown, is what a lot of them are telling me. And the reason of that is, even though the Secretary of State in Texas doesn't have a lot of rule-making authority, or, doesn't have the authority to change the law at all, election officials really believe that it's important who is in that role and what the type of messaging that they present to the public when it comes to elections. In the past few years, election officials have had secretaries of state that have been really supportive of their work and have tried to debunk any type of election misinformation that is out there. And so the unknown right now of who could be appointed next is what's really, really concerning some election officials across the state.
I would imagine there's also concern about the voter rolls and attempts to purge those rolls ahead of this November election.
That's right. I think it's a real concern. Like I said, even though that role doesn't have a lot of rulemaking authority, that doesn't necessarily mean that the next person that's going to come is going to direct counties, to maybe not follow state law and maybe remove people from the rolls before, giving them notice, as state law says. That's a real concern out there. And so I think right now we just have to see when the governor will appoint somebody, and who he will appoint will be very important. And after that, I think we'd be able to tell a little bit of how this will go in November, once there's somebody that's been appointed and we can see, what their background is, what they're gonna want to do for November.
Right. And when you think about some of the messaging that's coming out, you look at Democrats, some of the Democrats, even in the state Senate, are weary, right, of who will be appointed in this role, kind of raising an alarm, because this person will be appointed and will oversee the November midterm without confirmation from the Senate because the legislature is not in session.
Yes, that's right. And like I said, the timing of this, it's kind of what's been the focus and what's concerning here. Why Secretary Nelson didn't, stay through the November election, a very, very, very big and important election for our state, is what's really, making people a little anxious out there.
Yeah, well, of course, we'll continue to stay on top of it. We know you will as well. Natalia Contreras, reporter for Vote Beat, we thank you so much for taking some time to talk with us today.
Thanks for having me.